group in our 125s, and looking here with our 125s, some of them that have not made that start to go out on time. So we're going to have some of the 125s to start on the grid. Others will in fact be behind them, and looks like we're going to get our Pro Twin lineup here. We have our second group, and I think that those guys are away. So that's a little bit of an update. I thought. Oh, they're just ready here for the second one. So, no, they're going to take the second group.
Didn't we have a MotoGP race like this year where just about everyone started from pit lane there, Neil?
Well, there we go. And see, we've already got that group, and now here's this group to quickly line up. So we've got a front row, almost a front row. So we've got four here and four spiders. So there we go. Yes, indeed. And some drama for sure. And I'm wondering whether 125's caught a little bit off guard. So four of them are going to get off the right. Now the key one. Watch them all here. The four of them as they get the light and away they go. Penalty and have to start afterwards. So our 125 group, we had down there Chris Wallinger, one of our fourth place rider from yesterday. I don't think it was anything to do with our planned lineup. And the question was Rogan Chandler out there in that
yes,
start?
Yes, he was. He was in the pit lane. He was on the inside of the pit lane. Didn't quite get off first, but we saw how much of a lead he had yesterday. I don't think it'd be too much of an issue for him. And I tell you what, my suspicion is what's happened here. We've got four riders there, all made a mistake. I think we've got so much wind here that we can't hear the PA system. I've been down there, and you're straining to hear the PA system, and that's without even hearing bikes, the bikes running in the paddock. So all you teams out there, if you're listening, you need to keep a good idea on what class is out there, and you might be up next. Keep a good idea. So I reckon all these four people have had issues hearing the PA system. That's just because of the wind.
There we go. And Spider as well, keen to watch the fact that there is a change of order from yesterday, and there is two different orders today. So people really need to be watching it. Don't think I'll wear the second race because of the fact that going into the second round, you may actually be the third or the fourth race. So everybody really to watch your program. Good point, Spider. As we get away, 74, Rob Woodall got 0 points yesterday. That means 0 points. Came down here, had a mechanical problem, drama aplenty. Ended up by having the invite from Daniel McLaughlin to go back to the Kiwi Motorcycle Company, and who was staying there but Dylan Telford and the Aprilia team. And of course for Rob having Aprilia, it was a matter of, well, come on Rob, we'll get in and we'll fix this bike. So there we are 3 hours later, and the bike's been fixed and now back out on the racetrack. So this man will be absolutely delighted because 0 points yesterday from his efforts. In fact, shows his 8th place, but actually it was 0 points for no start. So keen to get away, and look at that on there, Aprilia V-Twin. He's in flying good form, and there's our 125s to look at as well as they go swarming past. And I think we've got Chris Kane on board of those. Ashley Weller in second place. Daniel Harris, he had an exit from the track yesterday, so nice to see with Brian Hardacre, Chris Wallinger, Rogan Chandler further back there, and Chris White making the lineup with the 125. So keen to watch, and of course also keen to note, folks, that there is the program change. With you'll notice that the 125s are written down as being the next race, but in fact they've come on to the Pro Twins because there's less of those there is in the Superlight class. So 3 classes of similar types of motorcycles, too many for one race, so split the 3 classes into 2, and the best 2 that go together as a smaller volume is to have Pro Twin and 125s, and not Superlights and 125s as the program was originally formatted. And that just came about with some late entries during the week to rejostle this overall lineup, which I suppose highlights the fact the Spider is always, if people always get their entries in on time, we'll be able to have a perfect program, but nothing ever is perfect.
Oh, it's hard to judge before the meeting. It's good to see the motorcycle in Canterbury had the flexibilities and looked at it from a safety point of view. Now we've got the Pro Twins going there. Rob Whittle's got a bit of a country mile. We've not really too much here, probably about 100 metres. There's a big battle going on between the 2 blue man about glass machines there. Bailey Perriton's just in front of Dennis Charlotte, and I suspect, in fact I know that that's Ben Rosendale, the current New Zealand Pro Twin champion, in the 4th spot. Now we talked about those split starts for the 125s. There was 4 people on the grid. They get away normally, and then they release the people from pit lane, and Rogan Chandler, who won yesterday, was in that group of people in pit lane. Well, he's moved up and he's been battling as a group. It'll be good for Rogan, actually. It's always a bit of a not a hollow victory, but some sort of that sort of genre or whatever. Hollow victory, when you get out in the front, you just disappear. So now he'll be able to put his foot down and concentrate. We already see him up to 4th in that 125 class. If we look at our lap times here, Rogan Chandler's putting in a 1:44.709, so I'm pretty sure he's the quickest of the boys there. No, actually Chris Kane's, I think, is on a 66 machine. Just double checking that he is in the 125 class. class, because yes, Chris Kane is there. Chris Kane is putting in a 1:44.603, so Rogan Chandler's going to struggle to get up there, but he's still picking them off one by one. Meanwhile, out in the front there, looking at lap records. The lap record for the Pro Twins wasn't broken yesterday. I think we got into the high 38s. It is a 1:38.048. Held by the late Terry Fitzgerald. We're in the low 39s at the moment. That's quite significant. We're a second off. I thought we'd be a lot further off here today with the severe wind we've got now, Richie.
Yeah, no, in fact, I was always going to say this morning, Spider, throw away lap records, but hey, I have heard local Canterbury man tell me he reckons that by lunchtime this wind will be gone and we're in for a beautiful afternoon. So there you go. I don't know whether it was quite the positive slant on it or the fact that he'll know the weather, because as you well know, staying here overnight, Spider, at 6:45 this morning, this was calm, this was paradise, and out of the sleeping bag cover has been found. So what did they pick it up at the prison, or did they get it in town?
I don't know. I lost my sleeping bag cover in the middle of the night, and overnight my the bits of pad that the boys had lent me from one of their pits was every now and then I roll open, a piece would disappear down the pit, so I'd have to go and get that. So she was blowing, and it's only getting stronger, but like Neil says, it may wane off there. Okay, back onto the track, and here comes the 125 through there. That's a lightning sort of a pace there by number 66, Chris Kane, followed by Ashley Weller, and Rogan Chandler is now up to third place. Looking at the lap times, it's Chris Kane's on a 1:44.312, Rogan Chandler at 44.398. So I'm considering that this might be where we end up with the finish of the race, but we've still got 5 laps to go, and don't forget this afternoon a full round of New Zealand Grand Prix championship races. Okay, to the Pro Twin class, coming out of the Dipper, it is Rob Whittle on the Aprilia, and we've still got that battle on about between the Man About Glass team there, the number 17 Blake, and sorry, the number 17 is actually Dean James there. We got the battle on going where Dennis Charlotte's on number 84 and Bailey Perrotton's on number 33. Beautifully presented machines here, owned by Aaron Trow. And look at them side by side there. Dennis Charlotte goes through, and as they go through the start-finish line, there was 14 thousandths of a second. So that's a battle he's been lining up all the way through. The bikes are almost identical. I'd say weight-wise that Dennis, the old boy, will be a bit lighter than Bailey, but not too much. But 14 thousandths of a second. We're looking at those two blue bikes going on. One's got white leathers, that's Bailey Perrotton. The black leathers, or mostly black, is Dennis Charlotte there. So we see them going through the icon quarter over the back there towards the hairpin. And look how much Dennis has got away on Bailey already, just in 2, 3, 4 corners. Yeah,
great to watch as they head out of the hairpin at the moment. It's all the Rob Whittle show. You catch Rob on that, what they call NTB. NTB Racing is the Waikato recognised Aprilia dealer with Metzler Motul, Moto TT Track Days, Raglan Roast Coffee, and Eberstan's New Zealand. So Rob Whittle. Now, Rob, not a young man to have started in our game, already waited till he was over 50 to start in road racing, and man, talk about a hit he made on the scene so very quickly. So the English gentleman right at home out of Raglan on the surfing west coast of the North Island, out from Hamilton City. Lovely place to go if you haven't been there. All right, so Rob Whittle and the show on at the moment as he heads towards the Dipper. Nice to watch. This is the Dan Ormsby sponsored motorcycle training class reminder. So, of course, with Dan Ormsby, NZTA basic handling testing. We've got the CBTA restricted and full licences. We've got road and track training. We've got race schools as well. So, 32 Dan Ormsby on 0508 Ormsby. We'll go to motorcycletraining.co.nz. Big thanks to Dan for looking after his beloved Canterbury Motorcycling Institution as well. So, Dan Ormsby Motorcycle Training and Smash Palace sponsoring these dual classes with our Pro Twins in 125 respectively. 2 winners, 2 seconds, so on and so forth within the race as we look out to Dennis Charlotte. What have we got? Where's Rob? Rob stopped somewhere. Rob stopped somewhere out there, Spider. I get the idea, and I've got somebody. Is that a bike parked? Bike parked on the hairpin. Look for Rob in those light leathers, and yeah, that is Rob. Yes, indeed.
Well, so that's a big disappointment.
Yeah.
That's a big There's no points. Yes, no points for this race as well for Rob Whittle.
Oh, we're unsure whether that is mechanical, because it's on the hairpin there, whether he's had an error. We're unsure, but more importantly, bad luck that he is out of the race. So Rob Whittle, doing so well, has now left it to the Man About Glass race team for doing it so well. So great to watch, guys, and congratulations down there.
I'll tell you what, looking at the wrap times, the quickest start. The last time Rob Whittle went through, it was 1:39.155, and Dennis Charlotte went through at a 1:39.153, so 2,000ths of a second separating those people. So certainly when Rob gets his bike together and gets amongst those two man-about glass bikes, the Bailey Puritan and Dennis Charlotte machine, the lap times are 2,000ths of a second off, so we're going to see some fireworks. But fireworks at the moment between the two man-about glass people. I said that Dennis Charlotte was getting away. He passed at the end of the front straight there, past Bailey Puritan about a lap or so going by the hairpin. He was breaking loose, but it looks like Bailey Puritan is coming back on. He's got the bit between his teeth. They're coming down the front straight at the moment. It is Dennis Charlotte, but the gap has closed, and Bailey Puritan on the number 33 bike has closed in on them. So that's first and second. A little bit of distance back there, maybe 150 metres to not Rob Whittle, sorry, Ben Rosendale, last year's New Zealand champion for the Pro Twin class, and he's just, I don't know, he's just going to have to settle for third at the moment unless these guys out the front have it to dust up and take each other out. But both these guys are former New Zealand champions, something more than once, and so they don't do that. Not normally crashes, are these boys? Although we don't want to put the commentator's curse on them, Neil.
No, not indeed, and I'm looking out for this 125 battle. Great to watch because it's less than 2 seconds from first back to third, isn't it? We watch the catch-up game played by Rogan Chandler at the moment. The TSS Red Baron of Lower Hutt Motor Mailed Diamond Design, Go Speed Media, Mum and Dad supported young man Rogan Chandler, fresh from his skid down the streets of Wanganui, and I say that as a bit of a pun because it's quite often terminology it's used, but the fact as well, of course, that he did have literally an off in the classic racing. Somebody wide coming out of the Rock FM sweeper as they line up for the run through here. I think that's Rogan, might have played it a bit too far. Oh no, back to this. 63 in the catch-up, so Rogan's moved up. Got the wrong one there. So Rogan has moved up, so 63. Ashley Well has gone back to third, and he swept really wide coming out of the Rock FM sweeper, so I wasn't going to be playing a key role in catching up those other guys. So look out for Rogan Chandler. Spidey made the call right from the early stages that you didn't think it would be a severe penalty for Rogan to be starting here in the pit lane, and there it is. He's now right on the tail of Chris Kane, so Chris Kane something to ride for there at the moment. So Chris Kane up there on the Earnest Hard Work Grand Prix machine, Dunlop supported RS125, so 66 and Chris Kane on fire there at the moment. But I'll tell you what, Rogan Chandler on his tail. If we look at those times, a 1:43.2 versus a 1:43.9, so 0.7 of a seconds. And remembering the white flag for the front runners. So those guys have got a lap and a bit to run here at this stage. So 125s for the Smash Palace sponsored title in the Grand Prix coming up looking good. And indeed, Spider, an opportunity. You've been looking out for those Pro Twins, a change.
Well, I didn't quite see where it happened. We had a change and Bailey Perry got at the lead, but as I say that, they're going into the hairpin over the back. Dennis Charlotte tucks up on the inside, but Bailey comes back in there. Bailey had it before then, I think. It was a breaking duel there all the way from ICOM, really, and it is Bailey Puritan out front, but Dennis Charlotte's an old fox. He's been around there for thousands of laps on superbikes, on 125s, on buckets, on 250s, Pro Twins, and also the 600 class, and if he knows every inch of the circuit. On the same token, Bailey's not going to give up, is he? He's former New Zealand 250 champion 2 seasons ago, got out here last year on his first season on a 600 and got right out to the front of the field, which is no mean feat on the 600 class, so the experience he's got. Neil Ritchie.
Well, there we go, 15, and Rogan Chandler's got it there, folks. Here it is. He's finally done it, as Spider predicted, so look out for 15, Rogan Chandler. It's just the kind of thing that you want for a bit of a challenge, because that's just what Rogan has lived up for. And Spider back to Pro Twins. They've only got 2 obstacles to go to the finish line coming up.
The obstacles almost to each other. Dennis had that classic line. He's trying up on the inside of the dipper. That's a big balls move, but he knows it can either work or not. Unfortunately, it didn't work. It's going to be a race to the line. It is Bailey Puritan down on the number 33 machine. Only it's 83 thousandths a second between first and second, Dennis Charlotte. The good thing is Dennis Charlotte's finished the race. He's been struggling all weekend to do that. There we go, Ben Rosendale, the number 1 machine, the New Zealand champion from last year, going through there, taking third place. 97, Nathan Jane comes through in 4th spot, and we got Carl Messiter going through there for 5th. And looking out for the office relocations, TSS Red Baron bike, the white and orange machine of Dean Bentley from Lower Hutt. We haven't talked about him much. It's been so busy elsewhere. There he goes through there with the Zany Zeus machine, and Ryan Bradshaw. Now here comes the 125s. Rogan Chandler had to start from pit lane. There was 4 of them started from pit lane. In fact, where are they on the track? Yeah, the Rogan's got the lead there.
Oh, he's pulled the buffer too.
He's pulled the buffer, but I didn't think he could do it because his lap times weren't exactly smart through the mid-race, but he dropped down into the 43s. He was he's quicker than anyone else, 43.230, and eventually he got past, picked those people off one by one, but it gets harder as you get towards the front because those guys are going faster and faster and closer to your speed. lead. And Rogan Chandler, the number 15 bike, and there he is coming down the front straight for a win in the 125 class, a second win of the weekend. It's a battle on for second place. It's a battle for second place in the 125s, and so close. Number 63 goes through Ashley Weller, 53 thousandths a second to Chris Kane. So 83 thousandths a second. We thought that was tight for first and second. Second to third, 53 thousandths of second, if that makes sense. Daniel Harris, I think, goes through there on the 21 machine, and we're looking for Chris White.